Bjorky will go in, Sheehan out, and that is the only change.
So he will obviously won't play center. Will Zemgus go back to center, or?
We'll put Aspie at center, leave Zemgus along the wall.
You know, Don, last night it was interesting to me when you said that you sensed the team was a little rattled, and I felt the same way after the fifth goal. And that's not something we've seen this year from this club. What do you think you want to see the reaction to that moment now in this game?
You know, we're in a different area for us. There's greater expectation, I think, external and internal, and we have to learn how to handle that. That's part of it. It's part of growing. I think our players themselves expect to win, and they are putting that negative pressure on themselves and squeezing their stick a little tighter or being a little more anxious, but that's just part of growth. So on our side, on my side, personally from the coaching side, they need to be pushed through it. They can do it, there's no doubt, but they need to be pushed through it, and we need to get out of our head, and sometimes the best way to do that is to get pushed, and we'll continue to do that.
Everything almost has to be a teachable moment, little things like that in a game.
It does. You know, when I look at it, there's you can look at it lots of different ways. You know, on the positive end, you can see from 1 year ago we didn't have a number one center. We didn't even know Thompson was a center for sure, and last night's game was a great indication of how good he is at center. We didn't have Tuck until January last year. We've got a number one right winger for sure. Skinner a year ago wasn't scoring at this point, and he ended up with what he did last year. And those three guys together are pretty impressive. And then when you put Owen and Darlene back there, Darlene a year ago, I was sitting here defending him because of mistakes. And so the positive is, you know, that line looks like a number one line. They were outstanding last night. But they couldn't make up the difference of the rest of the mistakes we made. And I think we made a lot of mistakes being anxious, a lot of mistakes squeezing our stick. So, you know, while there's plenty of positives and signs of growth, I've talked about being at that threshold, that nudge. You know, I feel we're a nudge under, we got to nudge over. And we're in that process. I think right now they need that push from us.
I've seen it, and you've talked many times about this team gets mad. They get angry if things aren't going well, and we've seen it many times. I'm not sure I saw it yesterday, and that's what I was thinking to myself in the beginning of the game. You've lost X amount of games, and where's the anger that we have seen before? Is that something they can get back quickly?
They can get it back quickly. We'll see, right? That's what it's all about. But there is no doubt there is. I think there's some tension feeling what they feel and we feel the expectation. Again, you have to learn to deal with it. So I don't think we've dealt with that correctly. We've been in our own head when a goal goes in, and as you mentioned, haven't played with that fearless mentality. I would say, you know, the silver lining in that, if you're looking at it from the coach side, we're still scoring goals at a very high rate. The power play is still clicking at a high rate. I don't want that to go away either. We do have to shore up lots of areas, but you don't want to shore it up to the point where you're losing, you know, that feel for the puck and such. We are much more tense without the puck. We're not taking enough time and space away. We're hesitant, so you can't take time and space away when you hesitate. And that's one resolve we need.
What kind does Bjork add to the lineup?
Bjork had speed, obviously. Hopefully he had some fresh energy in life. He didn't get games early. We were healthy up front. He was able to get games down in Rochester, and we hope that he's got his legs because we know he can play with lots of pace and lots of speed.
Opening night was a tight game. It was a 4-1 game, but there were two empty netters. It was basically a 2-1 game. Very tight game by both teams. Is that maybe what you need or expecting playing Ottawa here?
Boy, it's when you watch film on Ottawa, it could be wide open. They play with some pace. Obviously, when we're on a game, we play with some pace. So, you know, who knows? It could go either way. I know our guys are obviously not happy and need to make some improvements from last night, but we'll see.
Thanks, Coach.